Sarah Faith Brummett, one of the co-founders here at Theta Healing NYC, and welcome to our video training series on the 4 keys to attaining a deeper connection with the creator of all that is. When people come out of the basic class, their biggest question is, how do I know I'm connected to the creator? I can't hear the creator. And there's all these doubts that come up in regards to their connection with the creator of all that is. So this is really, one of the this is the fundamental, the most important part of theta healing is your connection with the creator of all that is. So the 4 keys to obtaining a deeper connection with the creator of all that is, and I'm going to go over, are clearing oaths, vows, and obligations, clearing fear, releasing resentment, and practicing. And what happens when you are able to attain this deeper connection is that it starts to transform your life in very meaningful, impactful ways. So one of the ways that it does this is when you're connected to the creator, you're seeing beyond the limitations of your current reality, of your life. You're seeing things from the perspective of the creator of all that is. You're able to connect and have a deeper intuitive sight, intuitive knowing. And that intuitive knowing is really guiding you on discovering and aligning with your higher purpose, your soul's purpose. So it really transforms your state of happiness, your state of being, and honestly, the impact that you make in this life. So it is momentous. We have a momentous task to do today. So let's, before we begin, I want to share just a little brief story about how this also allows you to manifest in your life. We are constantly manifesting our life just by the thoughts that we think, the actions that we take. This brings situations into our life. But when you start to get in the flow of utilizing the theta healing technique and really having this deep connection with the creator of all that is, you start to have miracles that happen in your life, or what I would call a miracle. Maybe you let me know what you think. For example, we are all healers, and this is kind of the most recent example that I have to give you, though there are hundreds by now. We're all healers, and healing comes very natural to us. Wanting to help others comes naturally to us. But doing the business side of being a healer doesn't always come natural to us. So in 2017, we got together. We were setting our intentions and our manifestations for our business, and we wanted to start having new employees and people that really got what we were doing and can support us being healers while they could take care of the business side. And we've manifested the most amazing support. One of them is a new office manager that just has this whole drive and business savvy. And she just loves what we do and loves theta healing and is a healer in her own right, but has just given so much to our company and given us this drive. The other thing that was really cool is that I had a friend, I was talking with her, and she's like, I worked with this business consultant, and she was just amazing, and it was free. She's doing this beta program, and she's had like 20 years in the business. I want to connect you guys. And I said, yes. And this was exactly what was on my mind. So we just met with her and are basically getting this amazing strategy and business consulting that is worth $4,000 for free. So this is another example just coming in. There's a couple more, but I don't want to waste your time with that. So it's just when you're in the flow, when you're connected to Creator, you're in the flow of Creator's energy, and that's when positivity and joy and love and all that you need to accomplish your soul's purpose flows into your life. So being connected to the Creator is being connected to your soul's purpose, and it's also inviting and receiving the support of the universe, the support of the Creator to fulfill that purpose. So it's a lot of amazing things. All right, so let's get right to the meat of it. So one of the first keys to attaining this deeper connection to the Creator of all that is is clearing oaths, vows, and obligations. So we have oaths, vows, and obligations in this life we've made, but also we carry them from our ancestors and from past lives, what we call the history level beliefs. These are beliefs, for example, like a vow of poverty, an oath of celibacy. So right away we have a limitation. Now, there's always a reason why we take these oaths. They're not something maybe for that life, they're actually very important because they served them to obtain a certain virtue or to be in service to God or in a certain way. But in this life, you're a different person. You may actually want to find love and partnership. So we can see that a vow of celibacy may be keeping us from actually finding true love and knowing that we can do our work, fulfill our soul's purpose, be connected to the Creator, and be in partnership. And the same goes for a vow of poverty. That can keep us, obviously, at a certain level of struggling with money. Now, the interesting thing about these oaths and vows, we can see very clearly how they affect us in this life. But how do they really affect us in regards to our connection with the Creator of all that is? And I want to put it to you this way. When you're not in the energy or the vibration of the Creator, okay, then you're not feeling your connection to the Creator. So certain oaths, vows, and obligations are limiting your vibrational frequency, are keeping you in a limitation. For example, I'm going to pull these straight out of the Advanced Theta Healing class book. Each of the planes of existence that we learned in basic class, they have belief systems. They have oath, vows, and obligations. And it's actually those oath, vows, and obligations that create the veils so that we cannot perceive what is beyond. So when we clear those oath, vows, and obligations, we are able to connect to what is beyond. We're able to get into that deeper connection with the Creator of all that is. So in this book, I turned to the section of the fourth plane. And there are certain oaths, vows, and obligations that are keeping your energy at a lower level, or keeping your vibration at a lower level. For example, I have to suffer to learn. And I invite you, for you guys to actually muscle test today for these oaths, vows, and obligations and see if you have them. So if you remember you need to be hydrated to muscle test, you can use the finger test, or you guys can stand up and do the polarity test to see yes, no, and test, I have to suffer to learn. Okay? The second one is I learned the hard way. So this certainly would keep us suffering in our lives because what's the point of life? The point of life is to learn and to grow. So what we want to do is actually clear these oaths, vows, and obligations so that we can learn through the Creator of all that is. And the way that we do that is we are connected to the Creator of all that is, and so we're learning through that unconditional love. So I want to go over just a couple more in here that you guys can test. I am expected to suffer. The more I suffer, the closer to God I am. I have to go through a death door or die to grow spiritually. So these are all incredible programs to clear. And by the way, this is on page 162 of your Advanced Theta Healing book. You can get this book at our center, on Amazon, at ThetaHealing.com. It also comes with the advanced class. So it's really amazing information in here. So you've tested for these beliefs. If they're a yes, you want to write them down. And you're going to want to work on clearing these beliefs because they're keeping you from your connection to the Creator. They're keeping you in that veil of this plane. And also what happens is when you have these oath, vows, and obligations, when you're doing your Theta Healing meditation, you can actually get stuck in certain parts of your visualization. If you're feeling like you're doing your meditation but you're not able to visualize going beyond that plane, then you probably know that you have a block there, and it may be an oath, vow, or obligation. So, number 2, we're going to talk about clearing fear. So, fear is another block that keeps you from connecting fully with the creator of all that is. And I want to talk today about a very specific fear that I've noticed is a huge common fear that our students share. And it's something that usually comes up in the basic class. And if they haven't worked on it in basic, it comes up in the advanced class. And the deeper fear here is that if you connect with the creator of all that is, deeply and fully, that you lose yourself or you lose your identity because you're becoming one with that energy. So actually clearing that fear is very important so that you can reach that state of consciousness, that you can reach that deep state of the theta brainwave. So hold on one second. So what I would like to do is actually give you a download around this so that you can know how to be connected with the creator of all that is without losing yourself. Because the ultimate truth is we are a part of the creator of all that is. We already are a part of the creator of all that is. It's just we're limited in our experience of it. Or we feel blocked to our connection with the creator, even though we already are. So we are a part of it, which means our identity and who we are is already a part of the creator of all that is. So if you guys remember downloads are instilling new feelings, new receptors so that we can create those experiences in our lives. So I want to offer you guys some downloads. The first download is, would you like to know how to connect with the creator of all that is without losing yourself, without losing your identity, and to know what it feels like and know what it is possible to be a part of the creator of all that is and that you already are a part of the creator of all that is? So if you say yes, you're going to receive the energy of this download now. Good. Wonderful. All right. So that was the second key. We're on to the third key. Getting through it. Okay, so the third key is about releasing resentments. I want to talk very briefly about resentments. Resentments take an incredible amount of your mind power. They take an incredible amount of your psychic energy and your energy just period. So the way a resentment actually works subconsciously is that you're using your mind, the energy of your mind, your thought patterns subconsciously, and are remembering why you resent someone, remembering how they hurt you, and you're keeping that in the back of your mind to keep you safe. And all that energy repeatedly is cycling through that constantly to remind you what happened, how they hurt you, and to stay away from that person. So when you release a resentment, all of a sudden that energy that was being used to keep you safe is now available to you. It's now available for you to manifest. And this is one of the reasons why you begin to manifest very quickly after you work through resentments, because you now have all this energy at your disposal. The other thing that can happen with resentments, and does happen, is that you're now again not in the energy of the creator. You're in the energy of anger. And to really go beyond and to connect with the creator's energy is to be in the energy of love, of happiness, of joy. So it really keeps you grounded in your life experiences. It keeps you attached to your past. It keeps you attached to your hurt. It keeps you attached to your struggle. So releasing resentment is actually incredibly effective for manifesting. It's incredibly effective for having a deeper connection to the Creator because you're no longer in the energy of anger. But it also, what it does is it opens up your intuitive abilities because you're no longer stuck. You're no longer stuck in your own perspective. You're able to see beyond, and you're able to connect to a higher truth. So this is incredibly important. So I want to ask you today, who is the main person that you are angry at today? So I want to just see where your mind goes. Okay, so if this person that you immediately thought of is currently in your life and it's a current situation, I want you now to ask yourself a second question. Who does that person remind you of? Or with what that person has done to you, the reason you're angry at them, how they've hurt you. When is the first time in your life that you experienced a situation like that? Give yourself a minute to feel that question. Allow yourself to go into your subconscious mind and answer that. The truth is that usually a current resentment, the reason someone has hurt you, there's usually a pattern to it. It's not something that all of a sudden you're 50 years old and your neighbor does X, Y, Z to you and that's the first time in your life. They made you feel a certain way. They made you feel like you weren't heard or you weren't listened to or they took advantage of you. So when is the first time in your life that you felt like people didn't listen to you or that you were taken advantage of? And you want to go back to that first experience. And that's where you want to start your belief work process. Because that's where you developed these patterns of being mistreated. When you are able to clear that original source of resentment, that original source of patterning of being hurt and being taken advantage of, not being listened to, you are able then to have a forgiveness process for the past, but are also able then to move into the present and do a forgiveness process for that present situation. So always look to, okay, currently this is what's going in my life. When is the first time I experienced that? Who does that person remind me of? And do your resentment work there. And then lastly, the biggest question you want to ask yourself is that everything in your life is happening for a reason. And as we said, we might have beliefs like I have to suffer to learn. So we manifest people in our lives that will do something to us, hurt us in a certain way so that we learn certain lessons. So what are you? I want you to take a moment just to think about this current situation. And by the way, it may be yourself. A lot of people, their biggest resentments of themselves, maybe it's a regret. They're not living up to their potential, or they regret getting in a relationship with this person, or they resent themselves because they're not perfect enough. But ultimately, what are you learning from the situation? What are you learning from that person? I had a little cut out there. Okay. So what I was saying was that, you know, in the past, when you have unhealthy relationships, you're going through this process. And what is that relationship forcing you to do? So for me, there was really this experience of when you're not treated well, what are you learning from that? Well, I'm learning that I have to stand up for myself. I'm learning I need boundaries. I'm learning to love myself. I'm learning to have forgiveness. I'm learning to overcome. I'm learning to have persistence. I'm learning to take care of myself. Whatever those learning lessons are, they're important. And so you've attracted these situations in your life through your negative beliefs, as well as an intention of always learning and of growing through them. So ultimately what you want to do is, yes, learn what your negative beliefs are that attracted these situations in your life. Do belief work on it, release it, And the next step is releasing the negative situation or that person of doing this negative thing to you in order to learn the positive lesson. So you actually make that as a command. Creator of all that is, it is commanded that this situation is released of teaching me perseverance or teaching me to forgive. So that's a really essential part to this work. Good. All right, let's see. What else? I want to make sure I covered everything with that. Good. So to support this, you know, it's about forgiveness. It's about finding forgiveness. So I'd like to give you a download because a lot of people believe that when they forgive, it means that what the other person did to them was okay. And that's not what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is releasing the negative bonds that you share with this other person and allowing yourself to move forward. You know, you're shedding your anger, you're shedding your own negativity so you can move forward. So would you like to know the Creator's understanding and perspective of forgiveness, how to forgive, and what it feels like to forgive from the Creator of all that is? And would you like to know what it feels like to have self-forgiveness, that it's possible to forgive yourself, how to forgive yourself, and the Creator of all that is perspective and definition and understanding of self-forgiveness? If you said yes, you'll receive the energy of this download now. Good. Okay, so this comes to the last practical part of, I mean, they're all practical, but practice, okay? Practice is essential to this work. You cannot expect to get constant results if you're not practicing. The more beliefs you clear, the more limitations you're stripping away, the more you're using your practice of connecting to the Creator of all it is, the more you're using this technique, the more your life is improving, the more results you are getting. So practice is essential to this work. So that means taking the time to do belief work on yourself and or meeting with another Theta healer from your class or from other classes. We're actually wanting to support you guys, and we're hoping to start developing open hours here at the center, very specific start time and end time each week so that you can come and practice. There's also practice groups that you have a teacher helping you and guiding you to answer your questions. And then there's, of course, taking further classes. But practice, practice, practice is essential. The more you practice your connection to the Creator, the more you practice doing belief work, the more you're stripping away those limitations, the more you're able to connect with the Creator. So would you like to know how to take the time to do belief work on yourself? Would you like to know when to do belief work on yourself? Would you like to know it's possible to do belief work on yourself? Would you like to know how to do effective belief work on yourself? Would you like to know when to ask for help and that you can receive help and that you can receive help from your fellow Theta healers and that you know what it feels like to receive effective Theta healing when you get into partners, and that you know what it feels like to receive the help of the Creator of all that is, and that the Creator of all that is can guide you when you're receiving belief work or when you're doing belief work on yourself. All right. So again, if you said yes, you'll receive the energy of this download now. Good. Wonderful. Beautiful. So on that note, you know, what I'm talking about, it's not just theory. It's not just words meant to inspire you. It's really taking this opportunity to use the tools at your disposal, to do the work, to get the results you are looking for. Theta healing is incredibly effective. It works if you do it, if you work it. So I want to invite you to take this opportunity to do the work so you can receive the gifts that come from it, so that you can be connected and feel your connection with the Creator every day. Wake up every day and do your Theta Healing meditation. Take time every week to do belief work on yourself, to meet with someone and exchange sessions. And you know, I also want to invite you to take that next step with the advanced Theta Healing class. So what we talked about today, these are some of the things that we're actually going to be doing in class and applying and clearing. So this class is really incredible. So I hope that you won't just dog-ear this information, but I hope that you will take that action and decide that you are going to follow through and do it and get the results that you are worthy of, and really start living that happy, fulfilled, inspired life. You know, I feel so blessed in my own life, and it's something that I know each and every one of you has an opportunity and a chance to feel and achieve. It's not just about being inspired, it's about living that inspiration, about living your dreams. So I want to thank you all for joining me for this video training. I would love to hear from you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email us at the center, info@thetahealingnyc.com. Give us a call, 212-260-5727. And if you are so inspired and you are ready to take that next step with Theta Healing and to dive deeper and to do the work, I invite you to come to our advanced Theta Healing class. With so much love, so much gratitude, Sarah Faith Brummett.